The Padres extend Manny Machado. Yes, it's Manny forever. And the Padres fans are ecstatic. We'll talk about it today on this episode of Padres Talking Padres. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special live edition of Padres Talking Padres. My name is Jay. And the Padre to my right or left, I don't know, I can't tell what the stage directions here is my good friend and father, Jack. Jack, how you doing tonight? Today,
I'm doing fantastic tonight. Today, I'm doing fantastic.
Morning. It's actually it's early rise to some great news for Padres fans on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's I mean, a lot of people were complaining. They said it had a better chance of snowing in San Diego than signing Manny Machado.
Yeah. So is it snowing proper there? Well, that's exciting, but this is far more exciting because Manny Machado is in agreement to an 11-year, $350 million extension that'll take him through his age 41 season and keep him as a Padre, I would think, for life.
There's no opt-out. Okay, that's what
there's no opt-outs. And I think it all comes to an extra $1.8 million per year AAV. Now, there's probably a lot of tabulation has to be done. I don't know if this pushes them over that final tax bracket or not. But Jack, what's your thoughts as you heard this news today?
Well, as I said, I woke up to you text me and said, "Hey, Manny signed an extension." I go, "Get that," and I just said, "This is crazy." I said, "This is I wasn't worried about it. The last thing we did, I said, okay, I assumed we were going to sign him anyway.
Yeah.
He loves San Diego. Mm-hmm. He loves being a Padre. He has to love what ownership is doing.
A $10 million house in Coronado.
Yeah. I mean, just, if you're making that kind of money, you can build a $10 million house anywhere. But, I mean, it's a $10 million house in Coronado that big a deal?
It's in Coronado. Just don't go in the water.
Yeah, okay. But still, I was not shocked it happened. I was kind of shocked it happened so soon, but I think the Padres, they know they have a special season coming up, and they didn't want any distractions. Hey, let's just sign him. We're going to sign him anyway. Let's just sign him to the extension, and let's work on having a great, great season with 44,000 fans in the stands every game.
Yep. I don't know. It's an exciting thing. I love all the people saying that, this, I don't know. I at this point, like, what's your response? Like, oh, well, you're going to have an old team in 4 years, or, oh, you're going to be whatever in 5 years. Like, I mean, what's your response to the the Padres haters, or just the, maybe all the other owners in Major League Baseball that aren't Steve Cohen or Peter Seidler? What do you say to those people like, I don't know how how it's sustainable or whatever? Like, what do you say to those people?
Well, you look at, Tatis, when his contract is over, is going to be 36.
Yes.
Right? So you have 2 long-term contracts right now.
3 with Bogarts.
Well, I'm saying other than Tatis is still going to be he's going to be relatively, I mean, he's not going to be young, but he's still going to should be a productive player at 36.
Yeah.
Bogarts and Manny, they'll be on the downside of their career, but that's it. Yeah. You don't have any old guys, other old guys signed to long-term. I mean, you have Darvish,
but that's going to hit earlier. That's not 10 years from now. It's like 2 years from now.
So 10 years from now, you rebuild the farm system back up, which they're very good at doing.
Merrill, did you watch the first spring training game with him? 3 for 3.
I thought it was Tony Gwynn.
It was very Tony Gwynn-esque hits.
Yes.
Little slaps in the 5.5 hole, just like spraying it around. It was great.
Just going with the pitch, not trying to do something, not trying to pull something that's outside. He just went with the pitch. Now, it'll be tougher for him as his career goes on, because they're going to have more information on. But anyway, going back to Manny and the whole Padres situation, it's not like they got 9 guys.
Yes.
Signed to play until their late 40s.
Yeah.
So you still have Grisham, you still have Cronenworth, you still have younger players in the mix. And Soto. Even if they signed Soto to 11-year contract, he would still be only 35 when it was over.
They probably go 15. They probably go to the 41 as well, just to, because he's going to want 500 million, 600 million, whatever it is. And you're going to have to spread it out over 27 years to get that A.
And that's another thing with Manny is he could have gone in the open market and got more.
Oh yeah, Cohen would have given him 40 million a year.
So that's another thing. If he wants to be a Padre, he wants to be part of this. Where Seidler said, he goes, I want the Padres not to just win one championship.
Yeah.
He goes, I want them to be. He goes, I want our Padres to be in the mix every year.
Yep.
And that like I said, he's turning. I keep saying this: the Padres are going to be America's team here soon. You're going to have people rooting for the Padres that never rooted for the Padres before.
It's a balance. I think you have people that are excited by the Padres and want to root for the Padres, but with spending this kind of money, you also get that counter. It's like, oh, they're buying championships, right? But I think the thing they have on their side is they're a quote unquote small market team,
right?
So they do have. It's weird. They're the number 3 payroll in baseball, but they still kind of feel like a scrappy underdog. Weirdly, I don't know. Maybe it's just we've been Padre fans for so long; it's hard to get out of that mindset. But
Padres,
it's kind of silly, right? Like I feel like they're still trying to prove something as opposed to,
Well, you have to remember you're in the same division as the Dodgers.
Yeah.
You can never forget that you're in the same division as the Dodgers, and the Dodgers, other than this year, are going to spend money. I mean, it's not like the Dodgers have a low payroll either.
Mm-hmm. Well, they still have. They dropped it back this year, even though they're still like 217. I want to place this comment here from the live chat. We got Jerry Clanton in the house. I still say that Soto becomes trade bait next year. Need to shore up the farm system. Jack, thoughts on that?
I go both ways with it. If they can't sign him to an extension before, after the season, I think he will be traded.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot depends on how this season goes. If the Padres say the Padres go and they win it all, you take a chance. Okay, if like Jerry's saying, we need to shore up the farm system, get some young talent in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you trade Soto, or do you say, hey, I don't want to break up the team? And Soto, if he has an MVP type year, and he is only 24, do you risk trading him?
Let's talk about that. So, there's a lot of one of the other big reactions to this is, oh, I guess you're out on Ohtani. Oh, I guess you're out on extending Soto. So let's talk through those two scenarios. Let's start with Soto since Jerry brought it up here. Soto, he has an MVP caliber season, or maybe we sign an extension before this season starts. Who knows? There was kind of rumblings that, or at least there was like hints or something that a big extension is maybe in the works with Soto. But say it doesn't happen before the season starts, and they wait till after the season, and he puts up like classic Juan Soto MVP numbers, or even say he just hits his ZiPS projection, which is still makes projecting him to be one of the best hitters in the game this year.
Exactly.
Do you I think Seidler extends him. What's your thoughts? What do you think in that scenario?
I don't think there's any risk in extending him. If he has a great year and he is a great player, you extend him. You could still trade him down the road if you wanted
Unless
to.
There's no trade opt-outs though.
Well, I'm sure there would be. He'd have a limit. Yeah, he probably would have, but you can always work around that.
Sure.
But I think the Padres, again, he's he's only 24.
Yeah.
And he's done so much. He should be hitting his prime in a couple of years.
Yep.
So I see what Jerry's saying. You could load up the farm system. I mean, would it be better just to go back and say, okay, let's not make that trade?
Yeah.
Because Abrams looks like he's going to be a star. Gore, if healthy, is a star. And we traded a lot to get him. So me personally, just sign him to extension because they're making money.
Yeah.
Because people are buying merchandise. They're buying, keep talking about
they're going
over and over
to
again.
pay into the revenue share system for the first time.
Right.
That means, and again, they're the money side of MLB is so shrouded in mystery. But if they're paying into the revenue share, that means they're making enough money to where they're going to pay the other small market teams.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
you're going to get it all trickles down. You're going to get a bigger radio contract. You're
yeah,
going to get a bigger local
the TV
TV
deal
contract.
falling, they're gonna get a new TV
Yeah,
deal. It's gonna be much better.
new TV deal. Yeah, well, each team gets $100 million a year
Yeah,
from baseball anyway,
yeah,
and that's $100 million. So that's what, half your, well, not even half your payroll.
yeah. But
you know,
still, the Braves, their revenue, since it's their publicly traded company, is available, right? And they had slightly better attendance than us last year, but it's very similar. They made like almost $500 million
yeah.
last year, I believe. So the revenue is there. It's just a lot of, I think the owners would rather pocket that money as opposed to spend it. Jerry says, remember what Soto turned down in Washington, D.C.? It was $440 million. I don't pretend to know Seidler's finances, but you have to think there's an end to financial commitment sooner or later. Sure, absolutely. But
Oh yeah, I mean,
but if
because
you think
nobody.
500 million over 15 years or whatever, that's a pretty palatable yearly commitment.
But then you have to start worrying. Okay, all right, you have Cronenworth, you have other players you're going to have to sign.
That's why I think you probably let Cronenworth go, or maybe signs a team friendly deal, because you have Merrill coming up in the system. You have Kim, like there's players that maybe don't stick around, but the thing is they're locking up the superstar players.
Right. Which I agree. And another thing with Soto too. Remember, I think he wanted out of Washington.
Yeah, and I don't blame him,
because
because they were tanking.
They were tanking, and I think he wanted out, and he wasn't going to sign a long term. He wants to win.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But,
love this from Arnie. Money is not just coming from San Diego fans. Padres are going to be known internationally. I think that goes to the next part of the Soto, or I guess you're not getting Soto or Ohtani. But let's talk about the Ohtani part of this as well, right? Because according to, again, these reporters, like the whole AC thing, like, oh, they're out of money, or they don't really want Machado or whatever. It's kind of like BS. But anyway. So
well, I hate to say I hate to bash Kevin Acee, but he's wrong more than he's right.
Yes,
and it doesn't seem to it doesn't seem to phase him that he's wrong all the time.
Yeah, which
I mean, I don't know. I don't know who his insiders are, because supposedly these guys have insider information, and you go, he's just been way off.
Yeah, it's not like Passan or whatever. It's like it's money. Yeah, it definitely seems off. Maybe he's work more on it. He's covered the Chargers for so long, right? Maybe he doesn't have as many good inside sources as maybe his Chargers. But anyways, okay.
Well, I noticed that he wasn't shipped up to LA to cover the Chargers. So
yes. But as Arnie said here, the money coming in internationally, right? Like they already have Yu Darvish, who is a huge celebrity in the Japanese market, right? Did you see? Oh my God, you see the World Baseball Classic, like all the fans there, like the Japanese fans there to see Yu Darvish and what have you, like insane. Oh, yeah. It made Padres Fan Fest look like a light gathering. But and Ha-Seong Kim in the Korean market, South Korean market, and the potential to land Ohtani, the revenue just from that alone on your international would be huge.
Well, again, the Padres have finally gotten smart, because the knock on the Padres was small market team. You have the Dodgers and Angels to the
north. Yeah.
North. You have the desert to the west. You have Mexico to the south.
Yeah.
And you have Pacific Ocean to the west. Where can you build?
Yeah.
International.
Yep.
And they started to do it back in the 80s with the Alomar brothers and Barriga and all these other players, and then they just kind of stopped. So I think it's, again, like Arnie said, it's the international market that's going to pay for all these players. And again, Seidler, he's a smart guy. Nobody gets in. Nobody becomes a professional sports owner to lose money.
Yeah,
they just don't. And
maybe you could, right? If you're a billionaire already, it's just like, I want to have a winning team. I don't.
Yeah, it could be a toy, but I think, because we don't. Again, I think you said earlier, we don't know the finances behind.
Yes,
I think Jerry mentioned it too. We don't know. We just know he's rich. He's not losing money.
No.
Even if he breaks even.
Yeah.
Also, the team, the more it wins, the more it's worth.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, they when the owners say, "Oh, we're losing money," but yet they buy the team for 70 million and they can sell it for 650 million or a billion.
1.5 billion or whatever. Like,
There's
absolutely. Like, you
how are you
don't lose
losing
money.
money?
Yeah,
No.
you don't. Even if it's just on the value of the thing you own on its
And
own.
I know small market teams, again, we can't compete financially with the Dodgers. We just can't. I mean, they have more money than us. They bring
Or
in more money
spending
than
more
us.
than them.
I get it, but what I'm saying is most small market teams go, "Oh, we can't compete with the big guys."
Sure.
But I think Seiler's going, "Look, I am going to compete with the big guys
Yeah.
because I'm going to get the international market.
Yep.
I'm going
Yep.
to get. I'm going to not only am I getting the international market. I keep saying America's team is what. When you go to a game on the road for a Padre fan, you're going to see a lot more Padre fans in
Yep.
the stands, and they're not from San Diego.
Yeah.
They're from Pittsburgh or
Yeah.
Atlanta. You're going to see more fans because,
Yeah.
hey, I like the Padres. I like the Padres.
Yeah.
Because they have players I like.
And, even just being a transplanted San Diegan, we've lived in North Carolina now for 20 years. But even like yesterday, I was walking downtown Raleigh wearing my cap. Most people were like, yeah, go Padres. Like, as I'm walking down the street in Raleigh, North Carolina, like nobody would give two, I don't know.
Well, they would see this. They'd see SD on their hat. They go South Dakota.
Yeah.
I mean,
or if it was a throwback hat, they're like, oh, cool throwback hat, but they didn't care about the team or whatever. So, yeah, I think you're 100% right, Jack. Like the catering to the Asian market with Japan and South Korea, where baseball is huge, but it still kind of connects to them because they're on the West Coast. They have the Pacific Ocean, to the west of them, and then going south, and how they're courting to the Latin America audience, and how I love, and people gripe on their City Connect jerseys, but the fact that was intentionally done to connect to the Tijuana, the northern Mexico audience, I think is huge, right? Like I feel like they're clearly there's a strategy, and as Arnie said, it's a huge revenue potential for them.
Because again, they're not thinking small ball, small market. They're thinking worldwide, and it's almost like the NFL where they're going and playing in Germany, Mexico, and of course London. The Padres are like going, we're going to do that.
Yeah,
and that's the only way they can compete with the Dodgers, the Yankees, and other large market teams. Is you have to be okay. We're gonna take over the world.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, starting a big following in Tijuana. Never seen that before, right?
No.
And I mean, the Dodgers probably ticked about it too, because probably in the Latin community, the Dodgers have a very strong connection to the Latin.
Well, when they signed when Fernando became Fernando Mania.
Fernando Mania, yeah.
It was huge.
Yep.
Huge. And so the Padres are finally. I mean, I know people suggested that with the Chargers that they should try and be America's, the world's team, and they they have lousy ownership.
Mm-hmm. People don't realize that, like literally the Petco Park, like from a high view, you can see Mexico from it. Like Tijuana's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Petco Park.
Yeah.
So it's insane that for so long, or at least just their strategy is like, how do you not tap into that market? It's right there. It's like saying, if you're the Minnesota Twins, you're only going to care about St. Paul, but not Minneapolis or whatever. Like, it's crazy.
So the Padres, like I said, have a great business plan.
Yep.
They have a beautiful stadium, and they have a way of people. I know they complain about the trades and some of the last year it's like, oh, we got to get rid of everybody everywhere, and then when the Padres got hot, they're going to rebuild the farm system,
and they already have
I know, but they have a knack for finding talent.
Yep.
Which is something that they always struggled with in the past too. I mean, they get
your
first round. Yeah, their first round picks would be like, okay, yeah, whatever. You
But
know, the
we're putting up the money, right? We got that Ethan Salas that
right.
he's 16, but probably could play today. Like
He's 16 going on 30. The kid
yeah,
can
like such a presence to him, and you never know how it's going to pan out. So you never know, but putting up the money, the 5 point whatever million dollars that they gave him was fantastic.
mm-hmm.
I do want to plus this in real quick. On the whole Ohtani front, if Jerry says if Ohtani leaves Angels, he's going to the Dodgers. But I like what Arnie's saying here too. That if Dodgers would have landed Manny as well, Dodgers or Mets. But what I love, or at least what I have heard with Ohtani, is he likes the lower profile of the Angels, or the more laid back nature of that community. And I think San Diego, even though it's a fervent fan base and they love their team and you see it just by the response, but it is not LA where they're booing everybody or New York where they'll boo their own players and stuff like that. It's if it's like a close enough match to whatever the Mets or the Dodgers do, Ohtani might just do the Padres because it's a less stressful, more laid back player experience.
I think it depends on if Soto signs, because if you sign Ohtani,
yeah,
I mean, what's it going to cost to sign? You'd have to sign Soto before you sign Ohtani if you plan on keeping Soto, I think.
Sure. Yep.
Because I think Soto wants to break the bank, obviously. If he's asking for 500 million, you go 500 million. That's ridiculous, but it's going to happen. I mean, that barrier is going to be broken. But
and same as how like Dodger fans or Mets fans like, oh, we're getting Manny. As Jerry says here, Trout has been trying to convince Ohtani to stay. There's maybe all likelihood Ohtani stays with the Angels, but they have a crappy owner. That's the difference, though.
If they can rebuild that team, and if they start going in the positive direction, I think Ohtani would stay.
Yeah,
because it's where we talked about with Manny. You want to go somewhere where you think the grass is greener, and you get there and it's all brown. So, no pun intended for the Padres. But anyway, again, I'm not worried about Ohtani right now.
Yeah, worried about 2023.
2023. We'll see what happens.
Unless we trade for Ohtani this season.
Yeah, then it's okay. But I think the Padres, I don't know. There'll be players in it. Yeah. They'll be in the mix, but will they be? Will they get him? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yep.
And they don't have to get him to be competitive.
Yeah, no, I agree. And as we close out this video talking about the extension for Manny Machado, who's the next extension? Jerry Clannon wants to know. Hader to an extension. Do we need to worry about that right now, or just let the season play out for Hader?
I'd let the season play out. I mean, was he free agent after this season?
Last year.
I don't know. You got some good young. Do you have to sign him to extension?
Yeah,
you have to. I wait and see how the season plays out. If he's money all year, then yeah, I want to keep him.
Well, and in his interviews, I've been watching a lot of interviews from spring training. He seems like very happy in San. I mean, honestly, you talk to any player, they all seem. And how could you not? They're paying their players. They're paying them premiums. They're not getting into arbitration fights. Like they're showing themselves to not only be a destination to go catch a ball game in San Diego, just well-run organization, but a players first organization and a fan first organization. Like they're checking all of the boxes. So I don't know how you wouldn't want to play in San Diego.
Again, if you watch, I'm sure you watch those interviews where they ask him a question.
Yeah.
And the one was, you have 3 wishes, and also World Series.
Yeah.
World Series, and they who wouldn't want to come to, I mean, if you're a ball player, any ball player, I don't care who it is, would you rather play in a stadium that's full and full of your fans screaming and cheering for you, and when you win, they go crazy, or do you want to play the old days where I could remember going to San Diego Stadium, there'd be 1,000 people there.
Sure.
You could sit wherever you want.
Underfunded, non-well-run team, right? Look at the Reds, the Cincinnati Reds. Like, it's empty.
Yeah, it's empty. Yeah, you could just go, like even Pittsburgh, a beautiful stadium, and there's nobody there.
Yeah. Yep.
And the seats are really inexpensive. So I'm telling you, if you're a Padre fan, You want to go see a good game, go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I agree.
And it's sad, and we were there. We've been there.
Yeah.
So I understand with those cities that are, where the ownership is terrible but if I'm a player and if I've never won a World Series, obviously I want to play for a team that has a chance. I mean, you play baseball,
Absolutely.
obviously the money's important, and you can't say, oh, they're not playing for the money. They're playing for the money.
Absolutely.
But you're also
you wouldn't go to your job and not get paid, or not.
No,
you think you're worth.
But you also want to get that ring, so when your career is over, you say, "Hey, I was the best. I was a champion."
Yep.
They can't take that away from you.
Exactly.
Hey,
and
that's all I got.
And this extension to Manny Machado proves that Seidler is a man of his word and that they are going for that chip. And if they get, I mean, hell, at this point, just build Seidler a statue. Make it like a Statue of Liberty. Just make like an island, get an island, and then just like put it out there in San Diego Bay for all to see.
Put money all around it.
Yeah, just stacks of cash as the pedestal, and then Seidler on top of it. But anyway, all right. Well, that is gonna do it for this episode of Padres Talking Padres. Hit the subscribe and bell so you don't miss out on an episode. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Yeah, Jack, we're spring training is rolling. Fernando's first game, I believe, is Tuesday against the Giants, they're saying. So maybe we'll do a video talking about that. So much to come for an incredibly anticipated and exciting season. And until next time, hasta luego and goodbye.
Arrivederci.